He is considered the worst boxing star of all time.
From Covington, Kentucky, Reginald Strickland.
With a staggering 276 losses throughout his boxing career, it seems the only thing this guy could do was step into the ring.
The boxing writer for the USA Today, Todd Foster, stalking his prey. His prey is Reggie Strickland.
This is the story of Reggie Strickland, famously known as the worst boxer in boxing history. Reggie always dreamed of becoming a boxer. As a kid, he would spend hours practicing day and night to get better. He worked hard because he wanted to make his dream come true. In 1987, his chance finally came, and he started his professional boxing career. At first, it seemed like things were going well, but being a professional boxer wasn't as easy as it looked. Reggie faced many challenges, and the road ahead was much tougher than he expected. The excitement of starting his career soon faded as reality set in. Reggie had to deal with some harsh truths about the sport and the people around it. Fortunately for him, Reggie's early boxing career brought him some unexpected attention. Even as a beginner, he was featured in an article in the New York Times. The story talked about the life of journeyman boxers, often called tomato cans. Reggie was mentioned alongside other fighters like Buck Smith and Verdell Smith, who shared similar struggles. His name also appeared in the Wall Street Journal. This time, the article was about Christian Late, a British boxer who had fought an incredible 300 matches. Reggie's mention added to the story, highlighting the tough and often overlooked life of boxers who don't always make it to the top. Being featured in an article is no small feat. It speaks volumes about Reggie's determination and grit. But this recognition wasn't enough for him. He refused to settle for being just another name in the boxing world. Oh no, Reggie wanted more. His sights were set on being the best, and he was ready to push himself to make that a reality. Throughout his many fights, Reggie often competed under aliases like Reggie Buse and Reggie Ragland. But why would he use so many different names? It turns out there was a deeper reason behind this choice. Reggie didn't want to fight under his real name because he felt embarrassed by the number of losses he had experienced. For him, each defeat weighed heavily, and using an alias became a way to separate his personal identity from the hardships of his boxing career. I mean, with 276 losses, who wouldn't want to change their name? Reggie probably hoped that using a different name would help people forget about his struggles in the ring. Maybe he thought a fresh name could give him a fresh start, erasing the label of being a boxing loser. But that's not how life works. Changing his name couldn't erase the record of losses he had accumulated. No matter what name he fought under, the numbers didn't change, and neither did the reality of his journey. It was a truth he had to face, a tough reminder that no alias could hide the challenges he endured in his career. Learning to accept and grow from those setbacks was a challenge greater than any fight he faced in the ring. Reggie shared the ring with some truly notable opponents throughout his career. Among them were former and future world champions like Lightning Lonnie Smith, Charles Brewer, Tavoris Cloud, Randall Bailey, and Corey Spinks. He also squared off against top contenders such as Hugo Pineda, Raul Frank, Reggie Green, and Ruben Williams. Adding to the list, Reggie faced off against American Olympians Dante Craig and Todd Foster, testing his skills against athletes who had represented their country on the biggest stage. Between 1987 and 2005, Reggie Strickland crisscrossed America's heartland, and sometimes beyond, taking on anyone willing to step into the ring. He fought wherever and whenever he could, often stepping up on short notice without hesitation. Over his 19-year career, Reggie laced up his gloves an incredible 359 times, averaging 1.6 fights per month. In interviews, he shared that he likely had even more bouts than what appears on his official record. The relentless pace of his schedule was grueling, but surprisingly, it was tougher on the vehicles that carried him to countless venues than on his body, mind, or spirit. I was fighting all these boys in their hometowns where I was never going to get the decision. I lost a lot of decisions I should have won. If you look at my record, I lost lots of decisions to guys that were considered knockout punchers, but they couldn't touch me. Reggie attributed his poor record not to a lack of skill, but to the unfair decisions made by judges. He firmly believed that many of his losses were not a reflection of his ability in the ring, but of biased or poor officiating. A prime example, according to Reggie, was his fight against Randall Bailey on May 17, 2003. In that bout, Reggie maintained that his performance was far from disappointing and that he held his own against the formidable Bailey. However, the judge's decision did not go in his favor, which he saw as another instance of injustice rather than a true measure of his capabilities. After the fight, Reggie felt he had been robbed in his bout with Bailey, but he was still proud of his performance. Despite Bailey's reputation as a powerful knockout puncher, Reggie held his own and proved he could stand up to such a fierce opponent. Bailey was supposed to be my toughest fight, but it was easy, and I broke his knockout streak by going the distance, said Reggie. Although Reggie insists he won the fight, the reality remains that he lost by unanimous decision. Even now, he still believes he was the victor, but the judges saw things differently and gave the fight to Bailey. In April 1995, Reggie traveled to São Paulo, Brazil, to face the powerful local puncher Luciano Torres. He believed he was on track for an easy decision victory when, toward the end of the fight, a stranger climbed into the ring and threatened that Reggie wouldn't be paid if he dared to win. The fight was abruptly stopped in the final round. Reggie doesn't believe he's the worst boxer, despite what others may say. In fact, he takes offense when people call him that. However, as time went on, he began to embrace the label, especially since it allowed him to make a living and continue pursuing his passion for boxing. Reggie is now on his third marriage and is the proud father of 10 children, ranging in age from 32 to 3. His youngest kids help him stay young at heart, and he still stays active by running and doing occasional bag work. Today, he works as a property manager and matchmaker for a promotional company called Dem Paws. When asked if he regrets anything about his career, Reggie's response is a firm, "Hell no. I'm not a loser, and anyone who says that can kick rocks," he asserted. "I fought in almost every state and several countries, made a few thousand a month, paid my taxes, and didn't get hurt. Everyone knows I can fight, and anyone who got in the ring with me knew they were in a fight." In the eyes of the public, Reggie might be considered the worst boxer of all time, but in his own eyes, he sees himself as the greatest. And honestly, that's what truly matters. But what do you think? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below.